Your door. Sorry. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sip and Talk podcast. I'm Ellen.
I'm Nancy.
And on today's episode, we are going to talk about the topic of work culture and the job market. So naturally, most people's, first step that they take when they're looking for a job is to go for an interview. And I'm sure everybody and their dog in the world has a good, a bad, and an ugly interview experience. But I think I'd like to start with one that I had it was for a company called ITMA, which I think was like the Irish Traditional Music Association or something like that. But they were looking for basically a receptionist or a secretary. So basically someone to...
Job.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it, if you've got the right credentials. So I applied thinking, yeah, like I've got this. The job spec was pretty comprehensive. I was like, yeah, there's nothing that I can't match. There's nothing that they're looking for that I can't match my CV to.
Yeah.
And they went for, so anyway, I got a call and they were like, yeah, can you come in for an interview? I was like, yeah, perfect. But so I went for this interview and unbeknownst to me, it was very like, so most interviews you'll have like 3-4 people on a panel, right? And each person asks a separate set of questions based on the criteria that they're looking for.
As if you're in an X Factor audition.
Yeah, so it was basically like an X Factor audition. Simon Cowell, eat your heart out. And but I went in and I was doing my best to answer like their first kind of preliminary questions. I was like, yeah, this is fine. I felt like I kind of got into my groove. And but then unbeknownst to me, it kind of became very like finance heavy, and all of a sudden I was being asked super complicated questions about like finance and dealing with invoices and all this sort of they wanted something from me that I just didn't have, like in terms of experience. So like I've never worked in a job where I had to really mainly look after or tackle like super heavy financial information. I never really had to deal with anything like that. Most of my job experience is like front of house customer service, working in an education department, dealing with bookings.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a receptionist job.
Yeah, it's a receptionist job. So I kind of was like, why are they coming at me totally out of the blue, like a total curveball, like asking me all these finance heavy questions? Now I did my best to navigate them, but eventually it just got to the point where the guy asking me the questions was like, I'm just going to move on, like let's just move on, because I obviously just wasn't giving them what they were looking for. But I was like, I'm just doing my best here. Like, what do you want? Do you want me to make stuff up and tell a story?
Yeah, but like for a receptionist job, you don't need to. You're not in finance department. You don't need to know the finance.
Yeah, I don't.
You need to pass on the finance to finance department. That's the receptionist
That's the fucking job. You know. Well, so I thought, or that was how they presented it in the job spec. So anyway, and then I really struggled through that section of the interview. I was like, oh my God, like this is just a disaster. And I could feel myself getting real flustered. But then I was like, maybe that's the end of it. Maybe I'll get something a little bit easier wrong. So then it moved on to the next person. They were like, yeah, Ellen, so I just want to ask you, like, how would you calculate the cost of renovating this entire room? So bear in mind, so we're in like this it's very an extravagant interview room. Like it's a really austere kind of place that we were doing the interview in, and they wanted me to calculate on the spot what the cost of like a renovation would be.
So, yeah, but like it would also depend what kind of renovation they want.
What? Yeah, exactly.
Minimalistic. What's your price range?
Yeah. So that was very much what I was up against, and he just asked me that like with his full chest, and then everyone just sat back, and there was just this silence, and I think my answer was like, I'd probably just get in touch with like the right departments, or like I'd get a quote from a company, a renovations company or a building company to come and do the renovations. But like, I didn't understand why they wanted me to just calculate the cost of that on the spot.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I just feel like, do you know what I feel like? I feel like a lot of interviews like that, they want you to fail. They ask you these stupid questions to try and like, first of all, see how you deal with it, which is fair enough. But also like, it was very clear from my CV from the jump that like I don't have that kind of experience.
Yeah,
so
because they're not in fucking economics.
Yeah. So I thought that when they looked at my CV and they compared it to the job spec and the requirements that they were looking for, that was why they wanted to interview me. So that gave me, I was like, okay, obviously they're seeing something in my CV that they think she'd be great for this job.
Yeah.
So how come I'm going to the interview and you're asking me a load of curveball questions that have nothing to do with my experience and you know I can't answer them? You know, like, why are you kind of wasting my time and your own by asking me this shit? So anyway, the interview went on for way too long. And obviously, like, I just kind of fumbled through the rest of it. But like, and that was that. Naturally, I didn't get the job. But you know what? So like, I tend to, this is my gripe with employers and interviews at the moment, is I feel like they don't really look properly at your CV. And they ask you to come in for an interview and then they ask you nonsensical questions that they know has nothing to do with your experience.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you want me to say to this? Do you want me to make something up? Do you want me to lie? Like, do you want me to spin some story? Like, you know what's in black and white in front of you. This is the information that I've given you about my experience. So you can tell, oh, so why are you asking me to go for an interview if you don't think that I can do the job?
I feel like half of them don't even actually read the CVs.
Okay, yeah, well,
yeah,
we know that.
I think, like, because for them to ask, okay, my mom generally thinks, okay, not my mom, actually my stepdad actually thought that this was a trick question just to see how you would get out of it. Like, how would you weasel your way out of it? So, like, because you're a receptionist, like, they obviously assume they would get, like, quite ridiculous customer questions. So they just wanted to throw a curveball at you just to see how would you, like, get out of the situation without knowing the answer.
Yeah.
But, like, also at the same time, like if someone asked me that, I'd be like, okay, but, like, what kind of renovation are you looking for?
Yeah, you would ask follow-up questions, yeah.
That's normal, because like I can't calculate this if I don't know what kind of fucking paint you want, what kind of gloss finish. Like, it depends. Paint is quite expensive.
Yeah, it is.
I would know that since I recently moved, and like the paint I picked for my room was quite expensive, you know?
Yeah.
But like, if you want this finish or that finish, depends on the room size, like, you know? So like, it's kind of like, it's a stupid question to curveball you with, because like, it's not a question that you have follow-up, like, you have follow-up questions to it.
Yeah.
It's not like a yes or no answer. Like, I understand if they want to test to see what you would say to a customer or whatever. Yeah. But like, it's a stupid fucking question.
Yeah. Why are you asking me that in an interview? Or like, well then in that case, like, reframe your job description and actually put that as a specification or a requirement so that people know what they're getting into if they go for an interview. Because I don't think it's fair to sabotage somebody like that and put them on the spot like that. If you clearly know based on their CV that, oh, they're not going to be able to answer this. Like, there's no need to catch me out or ask me curveball questions. Like, I'm just trying to get a job. I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl trying to get a job.
I'm just willing to work. Is that not good enough for you?
Yeah, like, stop making life difficult.
Oh, God. It's like my recent interview that traumatized me for fucking life now. Oh my God, like for the sales job I applied. So I think like it was like selling like a cloud payroll system. So anyways, so it's like just a sales job where you're calling like warm leads. It's not even cold leads. Yeah. Like, you're not cold calling. It's like they know who you are.
Yeah.
So they've expressed interest before, but they didn't actually buy you. Yeah. So you have to like follow up on that, basically. So, and I just remember like the manager was in the meeting and two other females, right? One team leader and one, I suppose, kind of like boarding on person. Like she was in charge of boarding on new workers. So she like asked me questions. So the manager was actually late to the meeting, so he missed half of the questions that she asked me. And he asked me the same questions again. So I was like, okay, let me repeat myself then. Yeah. So I repeated myself, and the lady, I think she actually quite liked me because she was like kind of smiling because I had to repeat myself, and she was like, yeah, I already know the answer to this one. Yeah. She was quite nice, but the guy, I could just tell he instantly, you know, you can tell when someone instantly doesn't like you. Yeah. Like, I got the vibes from him. Like, maybe he was looking for a man.
Okay, you think,
Yeah, because his vibes were like, why did you apply for this job?
Why do you think?
Like, yeah, but like, first of all, I need money.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't say that.
Yeah,
obviously,
you
in a
can't
job.
say that. You can't say that. But I actually have sales experience.
Yeah.
Like maybe not on the phone, but face to face.
Yeah.
I used to work door to door sales, so I had experience to do sales jobs. So I actually told him, I was like, I have experience doing sales jobs, but I just don't want to do door to door. Like I feel more comfortable if I'm on the phone or like whatever.
Yeah.
Like in person meetings even. Like I explained to him, like I just don't like. I'm very fascinated with a job. Like I just like. I kind of had to bullshit it because I'm like a very antisocial person.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, so I just have to say I love customer service because my whole CV is actually customer service, sales, whatever. So I even said in my past job, I was like, at the end of the day, it was still sales. I had to upsell things.
Yeah.
I had to make more money for the pub.
Yeah.
If I didn't make money for the pub, no hours,
no money. No money, yeah.
So obviously, it's still at the end of the day, it's sales you have to achieve, just in a different manner.
Yeah.
So I have a concept of how you need to work for KPIs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and he was just like throwing me fucking difficult questions. And he was like, yeah, but like, I'm just wondering why you didn't apply for a customer service job. By the way, I checked. They don't have an opening for a customer service job.
Like, why are you always lying?
Yeah. He was like, we have
lying.
a 9 to 5 customer service job. And that threw me off so much. And he was like, I'm just wondering why you want the sales one. And I was just like, I don't know. And it was just like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, because like I have experience. It's not something I've never done.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and you've just decided just to apply for this particular role.
Yeah, for no reason. With no sales experience. And he asked me to do role play. And I think he purposely was like the most difficult customer you could get on the phone. He was like, I would be like, hey, is this Ollie? And he'd be like, yeah. So like, he wanted me to shit out conversation from nothing. And obviously it's an interview, so I'm fucking nervous.
Yeah.
And I got fucking lost in the way. Yeah. And he said something to me that I wasn't so sure on it because like, I don't have the training for this specific product I'm selling. So I don't know how to answer this question. Yeah. And he just like said like, oh yeah, it's like whatever system, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, but like, can I? And I was like, okay. So I said to him, I was like, okay, for a second pause. I just have a question. Like if they say this, can I actually respond like this? Which is a fair enough question. You can't expect me to sell a product I don't know too much about.
Yeah.
You just send me like a little guideline. And I even told him, like, I just went off by the script that she sent me, but I made it my own. She's like, oh, yeah, but, like, you still need to sell the product. And I was like, I haven't had any training on your fucking product. She sent me, like, 5 fucking word guideline.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, but, And I'm like, I don't know.
No, I don't. That's
I don't know. Like, what do you mean, I don't know. And he's all like, yeah, but in the end... He didn't even compliment me. It was the lady who said like, oh, I really love how you... Because we did a second try for the sales page because they gave me feedback and he said, okay, let's go again. So obviously I changed it a little bit, made it more personal, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, he was like, okay, thanks. And then she was like, oh, I was actually really impressed with you, actually. You take feedback on board so well. Yeah. Like, you adapted to it. Like, you missed a few bits, because I know we, like, gave you a lot, but you improved a lot. Yeah. And then he was like, yeah, I suppose I agree. So I feel like he obviously disliked me, and he was the manager of the lady of who I would be on the team. So at the end of the day, it's his last call.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He makes the final call.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe he, like as my mom put it, like maybe he was just got it in his head. He wants like a man or like a specific way of a person.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
he wanted a certain type of personality.
Yeah, so like no matter what I would have done, he would have found a reason not to get me. I could have been fucking perfect, and he'd be like, yeah, that one is better fit.
Do you know, and that actually brings me to another interview that I did back in November last year, and I thought I really brought my A game to this interview, and like it like I absolutely despise interviews. I think,
me too.
You know, I think the way they're structured doesn't suit everybody, and not, you know, one size does not fit all. And I think for someone like me, with the way that I think and how I perform in jobs, like I definitely respond better to like a practical element. So like if I went like a verbal interview where I have to learn off scenarios and sit down and study my CV and study the job spec and actually tell somebody and articulate myself, you know, tell someone how well I can do the job. That doesn't work for me. I'm not great at that. Whereas like, I think if someone said to me, okay, that's fine. How about you come in on Monday? We're going to give you a couple of hours. We're going to put
like
you in a trial.
Yeah.
I think I would be absolutely fire at a trial, because I think actually being able to demonstrate how well you can do the job is more important than telling somebody how well you can do the job. You need to prove it, because there are plenty of people that excel in interviews where they tell the employer whatever they want to hear, but when they're actually in the role,
they could be shit at it.
They're actually not good at it. Yeah. They actually have no clue what they're really doing. So what is the point of that if I'm a consumer, if I'm a customer and I'm interacting with somebody that actually is either rude to me, has no people skills, or doesn't know how to help me?
Yeah.
What is the point of that? Because you're not going to retain me then as a customer. So the business loses out. That's besides the point. But I went and I did a really good interview at the end of November last year. But again, I think the employer had already decided who they wanted in the role. So I think he was just going through the motions with me.
Yeah.
And ultimately he didn't give me the job. He gave it to somebody else. And I just feel like, you know, I tried so hard and I really did my best in that interview. And I tried to like sell myself, because essentially that's what interviews are. You have to sell yourself to some degree.
Yeah.
And you're
Pimp
still
yourself out.
You're still not getting the job. So like after failing interviews for like months prior to that, a year prior to that, you know, never getting the job, never getting past the interview stage, to be able to actually finally have the confidence to go and do a great interview and to still not get the job is just, it's so disheartening. And I feel like my heart was absolutely broken, and I feel like I went through a period of grief, and I was like, well, there's absolutely nothing out there for me.
Yeah.
There just isn't at this point. Like,
what more can you do?
What more can I fucking do? Yeah, like there's just nothing for me. Like, it's just awful. Like the job market in Ireland is just like, it's in the toilet, truthfully.
Yeah, because like in my past job, like I was obviously assistant manager, so I hired a lot of people. So I had a lot of interviews with people coming to work. So like we used to do trial shifts before we were forbidden, because there was a fucking legal issue with it. Someone complained about something, and then we were like not allowed to have trials anymore, but we used to do trials. So we would have an interview, and that would be like, okay, can you come in? We would always ask to come in on a Friday, Saturday, because that was the busiest time, just to see how well they work under pressure. And on a trial, we would usually put them behind the bar, maybe with a waitress, just to see how they're doing, you know? And a lot of people actually shockingly would lie that they had past jobs in a bar.
Yeah.
Because you can tell if a person has actually poured a fucking pint in their life. You can instantly tell if they can pour a pint or not.
Yeah.
There's just a way to do it, and the way they would do it, you can tell them never poured a pint in their life.
Yeah.
So we would be like, okay, that's not for us.
Yeah.
Do you know? So I think trial shifts are good, because like I'm the same as you. Like I'm more of a shower than like a talker. Like I can tell how much experience I have, but like I'm not the type of person that can like toot my horn so well that I'm selling myself.
Yeah.
I'm more like, I can show you what I can do, and I'm really excellent at what I do, but like, let me just show you.
Let me show you,
Just take a chance on me.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I know some people are such good talkers, even if they've never done it before, they can convince someone that like, they're excellent.
Yeah, because there are people like that. Yeah.
But then you find out and fire them because they're not good enough.
Yeah. So, you know, like I just feel like, there needs to be two ways of doing this. And I think companies need to be more willing to make accommodations for people that don't excel well in like a verbal face-to-face interview.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're ostracizing a lot of great people that can do fantastic things for the business, but you're not giving them a chance because their strength is not sitting in front of a panel of 4 strangers.
Yeah.
And having to articulate and convince someone how well they can do the job. When if you actually put somebody in the job, they would be fantastic. But companies don't want to make those accommodations because, it's kind of this, well, if it's not broken, don't fix it method. And that's just how everything is. That's just how things are done now. And it's like, well, no, we're in 2026. You've got a vast majority of the population are neurodivergent. And having to sit down in front of a group of strangers and tell someone how well you can do a job just doesn't work for people.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for certain people's ways of thinking.
Exactly, because a lot of people are introverted or have social anxiety.
Yeah.
In specifically, like they could be really good at customer service job or front of the house, but they could not be good in interview settings when there's like 4 people eyeballs staring at you and you have to talk about yourself. Like, you know, like for most people, that's not a comfortable situation.
Yeah. Generally, I think the job market in Ireland is poor.
Yeah.
I recently went to this, I suppose you can call it like a recruitment fair, where you sign up through the Intrio, which is the social department, the Department of Social Protection. So anyone that's on a welfare payment, you deal with the Intrio department. And, you know, you tend to get emails in, you know,
I get emails. A
couple of months, you know, once you're on the welfare payment, they'll send you emails and they'll like recommend certain types of job fairs or opportunities for networking, or professional growth or whatever it might be. They'll send you emails. And basically I went to one recently out in, where was it? Loughlinstown. And I walked into this, I was expecting it to be this vast open space where you can really actually get into the nitty gritty with recruiters, with people that are actually hiring, people that want your CV, all that kind of thing.
Because that's how they make it sound on the radio.
Yeah,
like this is the place you get the job.
Yeah. And I was told to, you know, to bring print, like physical versions of a CV, just be able to hand it to people. So I actually did the preparation in advance. And I went, and it was this tiny space. Like, you know, you couldn't fit more than like, I would say 10 people in the one room. And the only 3 industries that were hiring were health, construction,
and care.
So
nothing that we have experience in.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember going there and I stood in the middle of the room and I had taken a couple of leaflets from different tables just to, you know, participate or show a bit of interest or not to just be hovering. But and I remember sitting thinking, if you needed a visual representation of what the Irish job market is like, it's all in this one room. Like it's all in this one room. This is all that there actually is on offer to people. And I've got a vast background in the arts. I'm someone that's very creative. I love, you know, I have a really big interest in like Irish culture, like arts and creative culture. I've got a degree in it. Like, it is so ostracizing and exclusive, you know, and the fact that I have to then go and like stand in front of these recruiters and fake an interest in working in health.
Because I feel like if you were interested to work in health, you surely would have gotten the degree in it. Because to be a nurse or to be even a caretaker, like you needed some sort of degree in it. You can't just willy-nilly walk into it and be like, yeah, you can't. I'm going to work in an old folks home. Let me take a drip of their blood. Like, obviously not.
No, obviously not. So, So I was really confronted with the actual reality of the state of the Irish job market and how painful and limited it is to people.
Yeah.
And this room is packed. Like, I'm talking queues of people are trying to vie for these recruiters' attention. Like people are fucking desperate. And there's just nothing there. And like, there just is nothing there for people.
Yeah.
And
unless you're into helping people. And that's what I feel like. It's a job for someone, for a lot of people, but like it's not a job for you and I.
No,
like there are jobs for every type of person in the world. Some people love healthcare. Some people love being doctors. Some people love being nurses. Some people choose to do this. Some people like to be caretakers of elderly folk. But like that doesn't mean you and I like it. But there's no other option for you and I here. It's like you either have to be in finance or you have to be in healthcare. Like there's nothing else.
There's no
in between. Like even for me, who's highly experienced in customer service. And customer service is everywhere. You need customer service.
Yeah.
That's what drives the world.
It's one of the few jobs that AI can't do.
Yeah. Because you
need people.
Yeah, you need people for customer service. You need the human interaction that people love when you go to a restaurant, to a bar, wherever you go. But I can't even get a job there. And that's like my expertise. And you have a degree in arts and you have like a vast background in working in galleries and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, if you're not in healthcare, well, we can't help you.
Yeah. And actually, I remember I applied for this for this job. So I went through the whole formal fucking application process, which is a nightmare as well, by the way, for a lot of people. You know, God forbid something is actually straightforward. But anyway, so I went for this job. It was in the National Gallery of Ireland for a gallery volunteer job, position.
Non-paid job.
They didn't have to pay me a red cent. I was actually actively volunteering my expertise and interest in arts, you know, for free. And you know what? I got an email and they said, thanks, but no thanks. They wouldn't even hire me
for free.
I was willing to work for free, for fucking
for
nothing.
Experience,
for true experience. And
you were not good enough for experience.
I wasn't even good enough for that. And I've got a master's. I've got a master's in cultural policy and arts management, and I've got a diploma in AI for business. Like, are you joking? I couldn't even get a job for free. They wouldn't have to have paid me fucking nothing. I just wanted the experience, and I wanted to just get my foot in the fucking door, and they wouldn't even give me that. So, you know. There is really no hope for anybody out there.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like when you apply for a customer service job and you clearly are experienced in this area. Like for events organizations, I applied. I've experienced in that, bartending. And they're just like, yeah, no, sorry, thank you, goodbye. And I'm like, well, who did you hire?
Do you know, I really want to meet the people that they do actually hire. Yeah. I want to meet them and I want to speak to them and I want to find out what they said or how they did in the interview that was different to how I performed. Like I just purely out of curiosity from a learning experience, I want to know like over me, like how did you get the job over me? Like truthfully, I just want to know.
What was so special about you?
What was so special? Like, or what did you say? How did you sell yourself? Like, what did you say like that I maybe didn't say, or what particular experience did you lean on more that I didn't? Like, I need to know. I think
this would also bring us into the topic of needing a degree in 2026.
Oh.
Because, like, obviously...
Listen.
We are, like, opposites. I've been to college 3 times. And 3 times I'm a college dropout.
Okay.
From 3 different areas.
Yeah, but it just doesn't suit everybody.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I think so as well. College is not for everybody.
Yeah.
But also, as someone who's finished a college, you have bachelor's and you have master's. I have nothing for my name. I have level 5 psychology degree.
Yeah.
That's it. Like a diploma. You know, I can't do nothing with a psychology diploma. Anyways, but we're still in the same situation.
Yeah, interestingly.
I would expect for me to struggle more than you because you have the education, you have the background and everything, and you even have experience in the education you studied. And I don't have an education, and obviously my background is mainly customer service or sales.
Yeah.
So that's what's for me, I guess, since I'm good at it. But like I can't even get a job there because for now, these days, they're like, you need a degree in answering fucking phone calls. And I'm like, what kind of bachelor's degree do you need to work in a call center? I'm sorry, but like I didn't know there was a bachelor's degrees for answering call center customer service phone calls.
No,
I'm sorry. There isn't.
Yeah, there isn't. And I just feel like this whole nonsense of like, oh, it's an entry-level position. If it's an entry-level position, they should be taking people on
with no experience. That's literally the definition of entry level. Yeah. You are entering in. Like that is the definition. But then like 3 rows after, they're like needs background of experience 2 to 3 years, 5 to 4 years in this and this area. I'm like, well, that's not entry level. Yeah, exactly. As you said, yeah. So how come I'm learning that, because I don't have 5 years experience in front of house or whatever it might be, or 5 years experience answering emails or in marketing or social media promotion. Or like even data entry as well. They have a lot of entry level jobs. Yeah. Which is entry. But then they say you need to have data entry experience in this and this and this for at least 5 years. And I'm like, well, that's not entry level, is it? Doesn't make sense. No. So either companies need to rephrase that, there needs to be a new term, or they just need to outright say, do not apply unless you have this and this level, this amount of years of worth of experience. Yeah, exactly. Stop messing people around and stop excluding students, people who are fresh out of college who are trying to get into their qualified field,
And just,
or people between age 30 and 40.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's like the ground where like you're not young enough and you're not old enough to have this job. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like rot till I'm 40 and then I'll get a job.
Yeah, so like stop excluding and ostracizing certain demographics with this entry-level nonsense. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
And start actually being open and willing to take on young people, because believe it or not, it's the younger generation that are going to be driving the next couple of years.
Yeah.
This generation is theirs. So, like I feel like really like employers really need to kind of take the finger out a little bit and actually start being open to the perspectives of younger people, because it's going to be up to the younger generation to
do it,
to take us forward for the next couple of years.
And I also feel like it's unfair to exclude people our age, because like you're either not old enough or young enough to have a career change, but like at any age you can choose to change your career.
Yeah.
Like maybe in 5 years you're gonna be like, look, I don't want to be in arts anymore. I want to be in finance.
Yeah.
It's a drastic change, but maybe you want to do it. So what?
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people decide different things, because nothing is set for life unless you are like very, very passionate about it. But even passions can go away.
Yeah,
eventually.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can wake up on one day and be like, oh, I hate it. I actually hate this. Actually, do you know what interests me? I don't know, being a yoga instructor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that.
Like,
you know?
Yeah, like I really feel like at this point for a lot of people, like there is no choice but for them to either make content on social media or go into IT, because IT is probably
or finance, like
or go into AI, like start building AI models, like because obviously AI that's the way of the world. Like the world is going in that direction.
Or just be in fucking accounting.
But,
for like
or finance.
big firms.
Yeah, or take on jobs that AI won't be able to take over. But like that is so limiting, and I just think, and then people preach and say, well, nobody wants to work. Young people don't want to work.
What do you mean don't want to work? You don't give me a job.
You're not giving people opportunities to do that.
Yeah.
So everyone thinks that you either start your own business or you starve. Like that's the reality. It's like you either
should
do this for yourself.
Should we start our business?
I think we should. Like we should. I think we will be.
We should open,
we'd work very well together.
I think we should open like a little like speakeasy restaurant.
Yeah,
that would be actually
that would be fantastic.
Nice. Yeah,
that would be very good. Stay tuned for that.
Oh, we should call it Sip and Talk.
We should call it Sip and Talk. We should.
So cute.
We gotta do that for the marketing. Is keep the brand going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Keep that locked in. Do you remember when I told you? So I used to be an assistant manager in a bar, which is like above supervisor.
Yeah, you told me this.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
So I obviously a bar in Dublin was looking for a supervisor, floor supervisor. So you're just like managing staff on the floor. You're not even assistant manager, right? So I was like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Like that's like below my actual...
what I was doing before. Yeah.
Like my actual expertise. So... And I read their criteria, and like, what was it? It was like at least 8 to 10 years experience in management, like managing a pub. And I was actually like speechless. And I was like, if I was managing a pub for 8 to 10 years, you think I want to downgrade to being a floor supervisor in a pub?
Yeah.
But that was their criteria. Like, we're not going to hire you unless you have 8 to 10 years experience in management. Like, okay, I have experience in management.
Yeah.
Supervisor actually counts as management as well.
Yeah.
But they said like duty pub manager. That means like Liz's position.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Which is like, imagine like if I was a general manager, like I would never like downgrade to being a fucking supervisor.
Yeah.
Unless like I've really hated it. Like, you know. But like from assistant manager to supervisor, there's not big of a difference.
But they're looking for someone with 8 to 10 years experience managing a pub to then downgrade themselves into floor supervisor.
Floor supervisor. It's
like
not
for
even
what?
like, it's not even like floor supervisor is not, it's nothing.
It's just an excuse to get the most out of somebody and to pay less. Like to pay them less than what they're owed. But but the expectation for what you want them to do is higher.
Higher, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was
more
saying
workload, less pay. That's what that means.
And recently I actually applied to a job in Dundalk.
Yeah.
It was actually one of those job thingies that you can apply to if you're unemployed. And it's kind of like part-time work, part-time education. So like you learn as you go, and they kind of pay you not like full-time wages, but like kind of like half of the wages, which is like fine.
Yeah.
But you get like a qualification out of it.
Yeah.
So I applied for it. It was childcare.
Yeah.
So you work in a kindergarten or preschool.
Yeah.
So they kind of like teach you how to manage the children, like teach them.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like shadowing someone.
Yeah.
So I applied for it. And it's like literally said someone who's unemployed looking for a career change. And I was like, me,
Yeah.
I'm unemployed.
That's literally
I'll take any job,
Yeah.
any job,
Yeah.
any job, any job.
Yeah.
And they offered qualification, but you don't have to pay for the qualification. And
Yeah.
they're paying you. And I think you only had to come in like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And it was
That's
during
perfect.
like afternoon hours, like between 12 and 3 or something like
Yeah.
that. And Dundalk is not that far away from Drogheda.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's fine. It's about the same as it takes me to come to Dublin.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, perfect. So I applied for it, and they answered me, I'm sorry, we can't accept you right now because you are actually not unemployed longer than 12 months.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this position is only for people who are unemployed for 12 months or longer.
strap in for this one, guys. Yeah, absolutely. I've had the same situation with Palace Projects. We're looking for a gallery admin or a gallery manager or something like that. And it was now it's a CE scheme. And in fairness to them, they did specify this, but I was like, fuck it, I'm going to apply anyway. Because I felt like my qualifications did all the talking. I was like, I'd be great for this. And again, like you, I got an email from them and they were like, hi, Ellen, can you just confirm that you've been in receipt of a job seekers payment for 12 months?
Or more.
Or more.
Yeah.
And I just had to say to them, I was like, and they wanted evidence of that, fair enough. So I was like, look, I'm sorry, I'm not, but you know, like I have been unemployed. I am currently on a job seekers, but it's not.
For like half a year.
For half a year.
Yeah.
They were like, no, thank you.
Yeah, so
Like,
to even apply for jobs that offer like credentials for it, you get like almost kind of like a degree or like a something out of it, and you get paid for it. You can't even apply for it because you're not unemployed long enough.
Yeah, and actually,
Like, what does that even what does that mean?
So someone that's been unemployed for a year deserves a job more than someone that's been employed for 6 months. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like, how is that fair? Like, how does that make sense? Like, you know, like
does everybody wait like a year or more till they apply for jobs because now it's been long enough?
And then the government wonders why people are on welfare payments for a year, 2 years, a year and a half years, 5 years. People, the government is shocked by this, and it's like, yeah, because people feel they have to in order to even just get in the door somewhere.
Because they can't even get a fucking job in Tesco's anymore.
You can't.
Like, because you're apparently not good enough, or you have not been unemployed long enough to do this.
Even in the jobs that you do have, like, or even when you're in the process of applying for jobs, like you'll very often see in the job description that they're looking for something, it's a fast-paced environment. Yeah, we're all like a family. Family and fast-paced just means chaotic and understaffed.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what that means. And they want you to do the job. They want one person to do the job of
three
people.
to five people. Yeah. Fast-paced environment. That means you need to split your ass in half and then in 3 more sides.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then smile as you're doing, and do not, God forbid, do not look tired.
Yeah, how dare you?
Because you're out of here.
Yeah, you're gonzo like a garbanzo bean. Do you know what I think? You know, and actually it kind of feels like when you're on, you know, places like Irish Jobs, Public Jobs, Jobs Ireland, or Indeed.com, you know, every second job advert says something along the lines of, we're fast-paced or we're a family. So they're either just, it's just language that they feel like they have to use, or it just means that there's an extremely high turnover, so people are leaving every day, month, year.
Yeah.
So they're trying to fill spaces quickly, or it just means that they're severely understaffed and its management is poor.
Yeah,
so
probably
they're not worth it. It's not worth investing in.
If their overturn is high,
employees and in people.
Yeah, that means the management is really shit.
Yeah, just to kind of wrap up that point in particular, like I think the management, the type of manager you have, and their emotional intelligence and their people skills is that's going to make or break your experience as an employee working anywhere, because it's going to determine whether you stay or whether you leave. All right, guys, I think we will leave part 1 of work culture and the job market in Ireland here, but tune in next week for some more exciting topics.
Yeah.
And I think we'll leave it there. I've been Ellen.
And I've been Nancy.
And and this has been the Sip and Talk podcast. Yes. Thanks so much.
We'll see you soon again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.